Classic All-Star Wrestling, featuring the greatest matches in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And now, here is your host, Adam Parsons.
Fans, hello and welcome once again. Classic All-Star Wrestling. I'm Adam Parsons, and we have a very special week. We've been telling you, we're right here at the School of Morton, Chuckey, Tennessee. Check them out, Facebook and YouTube, 505 Live, every Sunday night, Eastern Time. Comes to you live right there on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to get to hear from Ricky Morton today in a special clip interview that you're going to get to see exclusively right here, one place, Classic All-Star Wrestling. And then you'll get to see a great tag team match of him and Robert Gibson taking on the Nightmares, Ken Wayne and Danny Davis. So fans, let's go take a look at this great interview that I did with Ricky Morton. I've known this gentleman next to me since I was probably about 4 years old. He's one half of the greatest tag team of all time, WWE Hall of Famer, going in the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame this year. Ricky Morton, one half of the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky, how are you?
Adam, it's a pleasure to be here, but you just don't got to tell everybody in the world how old I am.
Why
No, I'm just kidding, man. It's a great pleasure to be here today and to go back and relive some of these matches. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on your show.
So actually, fans, we're right here in Ricky's School of Morton, Chuckey, Tennessee. Check them out every Sunday night, 5:05 Live Eastern Time, right?
Yes, School of Morton, YouTube, Facebook. It's right on there, man. And we have a great show. And we still, we go back, which I don't call it old school or new school. It's just called the right way. So stay tuned and watch us, man. We have a great show.
So Ricky, a lot of people may know this, but don't know much backstory behind it. Your father was a professional wrestler, then later became a referee, and he's in a lot of the matches in our library. How did your dad get in professional wrestling?
It's just the wildest story you ever gonna believe. My dad was a drill instructor in the Marine Corps before he got this, and he was in San Diego, and he went to the wrestling matches, and I don't know if I should tell this, but smarting people up to our business. But, Vince McMahon runs, so what the hell. He got interested in the match, and he hit the ring. And he went to hit the wrestler, and I went over the top rope. Nobody even knows this right here. And he goes, I didn't even hit him, but they were shooting an angle, and somebody else was supposed to come in the ring. And when my dad did this, our business is a very sacred business back then. And to me, it still is, and it's kind of hard to talk about this. But this happened, and all of a sudden, they got this guy. So they got to bring him back. So they smartened my daddy up and took him to the gym, and that's how I really got into professional wrestling. And then, he refereed around the country for a lot of guys. And as me growing up in the business, we had to go help our dad. He pulled the wrestling ring for Nick Goulas and stuff, and our business was a lot different then. It didn't do the things. And then when the time that Jerry Jarrett opened up Memphis, he gave my dad one of the greatest opportunities in the world for him, not only being in the business, but financially. I don't know if you know at this time, that's when Memphis was the hottest wrestling company in the world. Mm-hmm. Nowadays you go like WWE and the other big companies, they go to your town once a year and they don't sell it out. Memphis, Louisville, Evansville, all the major towns of Memphis, Tennessee at that time, they sold out. Not once a year, every week. So it's the greatest thing in the world. It gave my dad the greatest opportunity in the world. And I like to thank Jerry Jarrett for that, but my daddy always did.
So your dad actually promoted some spot shows. I remember you telling me about
yeah. This is when I was a kid too. Times were different. He could, we go run a show. He'd talk to somebody. You didn't have the laws that you got now. He'd pull up in the grocery store, set the ring up. Now, wrestling was free.
Yeah.
But it cost it cost a quarter to get a chair to sit down. And then I was a little bitty popping popcorn. And my dad would come by and he'd taste it. Throw some more salt on it. We got to sell them Cokes too. And it did. It was dadgummest thing in the world. That was before. Now he went to Jerry Jarrett. He's had to make money,
right.
And he did that. My dad worked at Kroger's too. And, times were different then. And I can remember back as a childhood that I wouldn't take nothing for these memories of doing that. I remember when we moved to Nashville, my dad bought our first house. It was a little house, but it was on 5 acres. And my daddy and mama gave $8,000 for it. The house payment was $58 a month. And I never forget my dad asking my mama, God, I hope I can pay for this. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Years ago. Greatest thing, but as time went on, the good Lord took care of him. Because my dad was a good man. He was a strict man. Especially being in the Marine Corps, sir, yes, sir, no, sir, sir, get your foot out my butt, sir. But it wasn't like that. My dad was a great man, especially to me and my brothers. The only thing bad about it is when one of us got in trouble, we all had to suffer. If you got one of us got a whooping, you might as well line up because everybody's in it. So that's how I did. My dad was, it was great for me to be in this position to ride down the road with my dad, trying to teach me the business. That's one of the greatest things ever.
Yeah. So I know.
Excuse me.
You're all right. Your dad. Your dad works for Gulas. Jarrett's working for Gulas, and they kind of have their own separate ways. And about the same time that's happening is right when you're getting into the business as a wrestler. There was a Wednesday night in Evansville, Indiana. Someone didn't show up.
Yes, it sure did.
Yeah.
I was working for Nick at that time, and I was off. When you're in a small territory for Nick, they run Nashville every Wednesday. I live there, so normally to tell you I'm not booked there. And I went with my dad to Evansville, Indiana, and they had a car trouble or something. Somebody didn't make it. I'll never forget. So my dad talked to Jerry Jarrett into let me wrestle. And I wrestled Ken Wayne, the nightmare Ken Wayne. And believe it or not, Ken Wayne was one of the great talent. Gosh almighty. Him and Danny Davis both were. But at that time, we go out. He goes, all right. I'll never forget, he told my dad, he goes, all right, you'll go a 15-minute time limit, but Paul, if the match sucks, take it home. He sure did, because he didn't know. And I went out and wrestled. And me and Kenny, we clicked. But when you know how to work and you understand this business, we clicked. Boy, we had it going. False finishes at the end. Boy, another thing. And I was coming back through the curtain. And he grabbed me. He said, unbelievable. He said, be at Memphis TV this Saturday. I said, why? Where? He said, F Nick. It was great. Yeah. And that's really how I got started. And at that time, guys, this is the rock starism of professional wrestling. I mean, it was unbelievable, especially when working for Nick with 25 or 30 people. Then you go to Evansville, Indiana, to that old war memorial building. And that's where I get my saying they was hanging off the rafters. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And it was like a whole different thing. And that's when I got so interested into wrestling. And another thing is the secret of a business. It's Jerry Jarrett, and I kind of put myself after Jerry because Jerry doesn't retard. Jerry Jarrett taught me the importance of selling in a match that you never see these days.
Yeah. And
I never realized it because, we're here at my wrestling school. And as me teaching the wrestling school, it's like my students. Look at me. I'm 64 years old. I can Canadian Destroyer. I can Hurricane Corona. But it's only a few that understand our business. That's what I try to teach my students, is to understand it. Our business is one of the greatest businesses in the world. They got so far ahead of that. And even as me watching the big companies, everybody looks alike. Everybody does the same thing. I don't know what matches what's doing here, who's doing that, because they're in such a fast pace, they don't understand. And for anybody out there, and I'm sorry, I like a squirrel jumping
You're all right.
in the limb. If anybody's out there, if you want to break into our business and you're out there and you're wrestling and you're thinking getting your stuff in is so important, the next time you have a match, the next time you go out to the ring, or when you come back from your match, instead of you asking your girlfriend or your best friend how your match was, go find somebody in the crowd that you don't know and ask them, did you watch my match? And the answer they're going to get is yes, but all they're going to remember is the finish. And when guys remember that, that's what our business is based on, the finishes. It's like here at my school of Morton, we always, like a soap opera, stay tuned the next week, and you can't wait the next week to see what happened. That's where they have got away from our business from. And that's the reason nowadays, but it's still there. I'm 64 years old. I do know a little about this business, but never had an opportunity, so I did it myself.
Right.
Try to teach guys. And the guys that I have brought, man, there's a lot of guys come through here. Chase Owens, that Kid Cash, a lot of people.
Yeah.
That I made them understand, because when you're talking to them, Adam, I can explain things to them, and sometimes I'd be better off talking to that wall. And the reason I'm saying this is what my dad told me. He said, I'm going to tell you this, but I'm better off talking to the wall because you're not going to understand me until later on. And that's the secret of our business. If you just understand our business and what it's about, I think we can go back the way it used to be, where people really like watching our matches instead of a bunch of smart marks out here thinking they know and
Right.
don't know.
Right. And you were talking about you and Ken Wayne. You're probably both 20 years old at that time, and you just tear the house down, a 15-minute match. There's not probably two 20-year-old wrestlers you're going to see on most of the cards you work on that could do that. There's another guy at that same time, and you all have something in common. Ken Wayne's dad was in the business. Your dad was in the business,
Yes.
and Eddie Gilbert's dad was in the business. You got the tag with Eddie Gilbert. He may have been, him or Sonny King probably was your first tag team partner.
Sonny King was my first, and then I left Memphis to go to Oklahoma. Now, this is the reason me and Eddie tagged. When I got out to Oklahoma, they gave me a little push, but they had Ron McFarlane and Jerry Brown as tag teams, and it was wanting to put me with somebody.
Now, you were working for Lee.
Oh, yeah, bell time, and that means action time. A couple of very fast teams in this tag action match. The Unmasked Nightmares, Ken Wayne starting out with Danny Davis as partner, going against the Double R's, the Rock and Roll Express, Rick Morton and Robert Gibson. Jerry Calhoun, the referee. Mid-South Coliseum, Memphis, Tennessee. Lance Russell and Randy Hales right at ringside. And this ought to be a dandy. Two very fast teams. Rick and Robert have got the size advantage. Whoa! Wayne spearing with that right hand. He was going to take Rick out of action right away. But Morton, too quick, went down underneath him, and Ken Wayne was swinging at nothing but air. We're in the opening minute of a one-fall, 15-minute time limit bout. There's a tag on Robert. Rick whips Wayne in. And he catches Robert with that foot. Robert was going over for a backdrop after Rick had popped him in on that whip. And here's a little help from Rick on his partner, Robert. Ken Wayne. He was signaling to Danny, but they couldn't pull it off the way the Rock and Roll Express did. And the Nightmares. Whoa! And Robert, a big long drop kick. Look at this. Robert right in behind with a second monkey flip. And the Rock and Roll Express really going to town on the Nightmares. Jimmy Hart pulling his hair at ringside. Davis out on the floor. Ken Wayne out on the floor. Referee giving a little sermon to Rick and Robert about their double teaming. I figured the only thing they did was beat the Nightmares to the double teaming, Randy.
That's true. Don't you love this? Quickest team in professional wrestling, don't you think? Two quick teams. I love it.
Yeah, this is excellent action, no question about that. And the audience really getting into the action we've had as Danny Davis trying to slow that momentum down. Takes a little time getting back in the ring. Facing off with Rick Morton. Slams him with a right hand. A little better than 3.5 minutes in. I think the crowd has got to say, yeah, boy, our favorites are the Rock and Roll Express, and they have really looked good against the Nightmares. Don't count Wayne and Davis out, though. They've got 5 years tag experience together. And to the corner, Robert now goes with a press on Ken Wayne, who kicks him loose, and out on the floor goes Robert. Danny Davis picking Robert up, slams him down. Rick Morton run out of there by the referee. Pretty classy move by Wayne over in the corner to get away from Robert. Now we've got them all four in there for a brief moment. Davis working on the leg of Robert Gibson. Tag. Here comes Ken Wayne. And the Nightmares right at that knee joint, slamming down hard on Robert Gibson. Right on it. And as he was going to the corner to tag Rick, Davis interrupted him, pulled him off the tag, and has him back with that knee in trouble. He bars that leg right at the knee where he can lean back, push in with his right hand, and he's kicked out of it. Davis catches him. Good move. Turns him into a Boston Crab. He doesn't have it set yet, but Ken Wayne's helping him out. Robert, who has got a lot of leverage with that height of his. Tag goes to Wayne, drops with an elbow, and Davis cuts loose of that Boston Crab. Into the ropes, whip. Around behind. He didn't get him in the classic clothesline. He clotheslined him, hooked his other hand in a loop, and power slammed his head into the mat. Double chop coming down as Davis double-handed Robert Gibson. Gibson whipped across the ring. Sunset flip. Look at Davis, but the referee getting Wayne out. Doesn't have him out for long. Six and a half minutes in. We're approaching the halfway mark time-wise in this match. Ken Wayne still shaking his head where he headbutted Gibson right in the face. Scoops him up, slams him down. Wayne getting a little speed up, drives down with that head, and Robert rolling toward the corner. Oh, boy. He didn't know how close he was to Rick Morton. A couple of more rolls, and he'd have been right in the corner for a tag. Davis takes over. And Robert trying to fight his way back. Smacks Davis with a good solid right hand. Oh, and as he comes in with a double chop, he raised the knee, but Ken Wayne fought him from behind, and there's a tag out to Ken Wayne. Both teams seem to be primed for this bout today, Randy.
That's right. They met before, lads. Robert comes up. He makes the tag. That's what he needed.
Rick Morton coming in with the Nightmares. He's fresh. Ricky is the drop kick. Right over on Wayne, and Robert up off the floor, swinging away. Kane from Hart nails Rick Morton right in the back of the head. Nightmares. Davis. Backbreaker. He's got Martin. Ken Wayne gonna come off and he misses in. Martin covers. The referee. 1, 2, 3. That's it. 8 minutes, 19 seconds. Very classy finish with Rick Martin getting out of the way as Ken Wayne was going to put him away. Rolling right into a pin position. The referee counted 1, 2, 3, and the winners, Rick